Next topic, the Acolyte episode 2 review. Because we've got no stingers. I will say this, right? Amanda Stenberg is doing the same performance for both characters.
Yeah.
Like,
and they both have the same hair. Like,
but they're just exactly. One just wears purple, one doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, but it's the same character. You're doing the same character acting for each one. Like, come on.
Yep.
That's
Exact
awful.
same. Yeah. So, you know, if I think about, I heard Andre talking about this on another stream, and he made a good point about Jean-Claude Van Damme's what was it, Double Impact, where he plays himself twice, two different characters. You know, if anybody has ever seen that movie, you can tell the difference between both of those characters. They look different. Their hair's different. Their way they talk and act is different. This just seems like the same person playing the same character for both parts.
Yeah, I just this. So, well, what did you? Well, so basically, for those that haven't seen the episode, in this episode 2 of the Acolyte, May goes to a Jedi temple, to murder another Jedi, and she can't get through his impenetrable force field, force shield, whatever.
After she does her stupid stance,
face me,
yeah, face like me, yeah. I'm just
so
like,
late.
oh god.
And then, so then she goes, she gets some poison, and then she goes back and is just like, "Hey, mate, I'll forgive you if you drink this and kill yourself." And he's like, I will drink this and kill myself.
Yeah. Oh, I've been waiting for you.
And kills himself.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like something a Jedi would do at all. In the whole force field thing around him, when did the Jedi be able to do that? He hasn't talked to anybody in 10 years. So what has he just been in this state the whole time? Like, the whole thing just didn't make sense at all. They didn't really hardly give any explanation to a lot of that. It's very confusing.
Yeah, and then, so again, for those that don't know, May thinks that Osha's dead, and Osha thinks that May is dead. And May's going around murdering 4 particular Jedi. Master Soul is one of them. Kelnaka's the other one now. She's got the 2 that she wanted. I'm presuming what this is going to be is like, that's going to frame the Jedi as bad. Because one thing in episode 1 that I didn't, we kind of breezed through that review. But one thing that annoyed me in episode 1, I was like, what? Carrie Ann Moss was like, we've got an unregistered Force user here. And I'm like, yeah. Since when do you have like documentation on the Force user?
Yeah, I never knew that they registered Force users. I don't ever remember that being a thing in Star Wars, but okay.
Well, yeah, I was just like, what? So basically, I reckon they're going to frame the Jedi as evil in this series, and 4 particular Jedi went to wherever May and Osha's planet is and like murdered all these Force users or some crap like that.
Yeah,
and they all just happen to be black as well. I bet. There you go. I'm just going to say it. It's going to be an allegory for racism.
Yeah,
somehow.
I can totally see. I can totally see that being the case, because just from these first 2 episodes, she's going after 4 Jedis. She kills 2 of them, and they're the only 2 white people.
That's true.
You know, they're the only 2. It's like they should have just named the episode like "Kill Whitey." You know.
Well, I mean, it took, to play devil's advocate. Master Soul is one of them. He is going to be up for murder soon, apparently, as
but
well as
he's
Kelnaka. But
not
yeah,
gonna. Well, I don't know. By the end of this, they might all die because
maybe.
I mean the Jedi aren't supposed to know anything about the Sith. I don't know how they're going to explain that and make that connection between this and the prequels 100 years later, where they're like the Sith they haven't been seen or heard from in over 1,000 years, and this is 100 years prior.
Except for that one little issue that we had.
Yeah, that one little incident,
with Jedi's being murdered.
Yeah. And then I had to take on the Sith Lord and the apprentice. Like,
oh, Jesus.
I don't know. And the one thing is, I was like, maybe they'll be like, well, this isn't the Sith. This is like this coven of lesbian witches that they're fighting against, and they're just Sith-like. But the whole premise of this show was, from my understanding, was going to be the focus on the Sith. Like Leslie Headland was talking about that, and giving a perspective from like the dark side. But I'm not really seeing a whole lot of that. We see, May's character running around doing all these things, but we're not really being explained why or what's happening. I'm sure we'll probably get it later on in some later episodes. But
why? I mean, yeah, they've not really played on the fact that she's not using the Force either, so she can't use the Force anymore. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why can't you use the Force? Like, why? Surely you should be good. No, apparently you can't anymore.
Yeah.
So what else happened in this episode? Episode 2. So that guy died, and there was an epic fight between Master Soul and May. It wasn't epic. The choreography is not actually that good. So the camera keeps cutting away to reframe different shots. So it's actually not that good in terms of its fight choreography. If it was like wide angle shots and you were just watching it all, then you could say, oh, that's good choreography because you're watching everything connect and move and flow like a dance.
Yeah.
But you don't see that because it gets chopped up too much. So the fight was crap. And then what I didn't understand, so it's got really bad editing. So at the
very
end,
bad.
Osha tries to shoot May. May disappears, and they're all like, "Oh, come back to Jedi Academy, Master Soul. We've got to do some politicking." So that's what? Why? That's not something that the Jedi would do, is it? They're not going to come all the way back to Coruscant when they're literally on the lead of a Sith Lord, right? Like,
yeah,
they'd be like, "No,
doesn't make sense.
We're on this." But anyway, so then May tries to get out the city, so she grabs she doesn't try to get out of the city. She's still in the city, and then she goes and grabs her accomplice, the guy that got the poison for her, and he's like, "I know where we can go. We can get off planet." And she's like, "Where?" And it's like, "Oh, we'd go here. It's where one of those Jedi are." And then boom, all of a sudden we're on that planet, and I'm like, "All right." Are they on the planet as well now? I'll bet you anything they're going to be on the planet in the next episode, right? But
you
we
would think
wouldn't have
so.
seen how they got there. Just
You'd
teleported.
Think so. Yeah, they'll be like, we'll see them walking off of a ship, and they'll be like, "Thanks for the ride," and we're like, "All right, now how did they get this ride?" Where, they'll leave a lot to just our own imagination. But
yep.
Yeah, the editing and stuff is terrible. In that fight scene that you're talking about at the end between May and Soul, you got the dude that looks like he came straight out of High School Musical, Yord, sitting up in his balcony seat watching this, which he's literally right above them. Like literally just like right above them. And he's up there with binoculars, like and zooming in like he's far away. Did you notice that?
I realized that.
Yeah. And I'm like, what's he need the binoculars for and zooming in? He's right there above them. Like he's right there.
Yeah, I hadn't realized that.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, if you go back and watch that, because later on, you see him use the force to take the knives from her. And he's right there. and you see that he's right there before the fight starts too. And then you see it
it's so
again, and
bad.
it's like, explain to me why he has these binoculars and is zooming in like he's up on a cliff a mile away or something. It was so dumb. But one of the dumbest things. Let me ask you a question, Nate. When you think of the Jedi in Star Wars, like if you had to compare them to something in a real world, what would you like compare them to?
What would I compare them in the real world? What would I
Yeah,
compare the
in
Jedi
our
to?
world, in the real world, you know,
I mean, they're monks, aren't they? Basically, they're like some.
who would be the Jedi? Like monks.
Yeah,
But
I guess. Yeah, monks.
as far as like, I would consider them monks slash like special forces.
Yeah, they're like it's like they're like the Templar Knights.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. So when you think of that, you know, I don't know about you, but I've not seen any fat uh fat special forces guys. And when I saw this right here in this episode, Fatawan over here,
Padawan.
I was like, what?
Didn't
They're,
Yoda say you've got to train your body as well as your mind?
yes, yes. Like you see
He's
Luke.
missed that lesson.
Yeah, he like ate all the other Padawans. Like no Jedi. Jedis are disciplined. There's no way.
He's disciplined on eating all the pies.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, no way would this guy be a Jedi. He wouldn't be a Padawan. He wouldn't be anything. So
Got a fat representation, I guess.
yeah, I don't need any of my representation in the Jedi Order.
Oh
uh,
god.
so yeah, that right there kind of took me out a little bit too. I was just like shaking my head, like, oh, what is this guy? This wouldn't even be a thing. That they'd be like,
So
no,
dumb.
you're kicked out of the order. You have no discipline. You're not training your body. If you're in a fight, you're not going to be able to run very well. You're going to be out of breath. Like it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make
Maybe they
sense.
were like, you know how fat you are, fat one. There's more midichlorians around you because you're bigger, so we can use you for the force. You're
Yeah.
like a fourth bulldozer.
Yeah, like you just stay behind the front lines and just use your force powers because you're not really going to really be able to do a whole lot of actual fighting with any kind
Oh
of
Christ.
physical. Yeah,
Jesus.
it was pretty bad. But yeah,
Yeah.
this whole episode, we end up getting the Wookie scene at the end too, which will probably turn out to be a gay lesbian Wookie, and it'll be a female Wookie because we kind of see the dyke haircut with the shaved sides, you know. So I totally see that this is going to turn out to be a female Wookie. I'm
I think
calling
it
it
is a
right
man,
now.
in fairness. Kelnaka. I think they've released a statement and saying it's a man, but I don't know. Not sure. But yeah, it wasn't a very good episode. Like, and he's like, "Tell me who your master is," and then he does his mind reading trick on her, and she's like, "I won't tell you." Well, he doesn't. She doesn't say anything, but he's like, "Oh, you couldn't tell me even if you wanted to. You don't know. You've never seen their face."
Yeah. That's why I was like, I guarantee you it's going to be a woman, quite possibly one of her mothers, because we heard that, you know, you lost your mothers, you know.
Yeah.
So these lesbians were able to conceive children somehow. You know, I guess that works in the Star Wars galaxy because it doesn't work in our world. But you know,
Jesus, unbelievable. So now Jedi, what have we got? A list of things that they've added. So you can do a force field shield as a Jedi now. You can literally read minds, like you just read minds. I guess could they read minds before?
No.
Because I tell you what.
Well,
Yeah. Darth Vader couldn't read minds. He had to use a torture device.
Yeah, he had to use torture device, but then you know, maybe it's just between force users or what, but they were reading minds of people that weren't force sensitive, because Vader, you know, at the end when he's walking around and he's like, your thoughts betray you, you know, your feelings for them are strong, especially for sister, you know. Oh, so you have a twin sister, you know. There's definitely some ability there to like sense or feel thoughts, but I never thought that they were able to just read minds, like extract information out of somebody's brain, you know.
He's fully reading minds. And then also he in the first episode, he was like, she's been here and she's ran that way. Like you could tell Master Soul sensed where May had run. So he's like, we're gonna run this way. So that's the thing which they'd done in was like Ahsoka, wasn't it? Where they're like reading a memory imprint. Time or some shit like that. Like, oh God, go away.
Yeah. Oh, and then Kylo Ren, of course, did the mind reading and in the sequels, you know, trying to find out where the map was and all that.
Yeah. It's just a catch-all thing now. This is what they're doing. Just catch-all. Just we do anything we want.
Yeah.
It wasn't a particularly good episode. It wasn't mega offensive. It was just crap. Like all of it has just been lackluster and crap.
Yeah.
But they've definitely spent money on it.
Yeah. Other than the mother's thing, in the clearly DEI cast in there, there wasn't a whole lot of woke stuff thrown in your face. But yeah, it just wasn't good. It just wasn't Star Wars. It was
so you're not loving it then? You're not, it's not rekindled your Star Wars fandom.
No.
Oh,
and next week's episode is supposed to completely destroy everything. I don't know if you've heard the rumors.
I have.
Yeah,
I have.
Oh, next week. Good. Next week's episode. Oof, that's gonna be a fun conversation.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, we're back with a full cast next week, so that'll be a good one to chit chat through. But yeah, my God, terrible stuff. So not good. There you go. Acolyte
show
reviews done. We've got some super chats though about some of this stuff as well. So Crystal Noland super chat $19.99. Thank you so much. Says the best twin character acting ever done was Jim Varney in Ernest Goes to Jail, where he plays Ernest and Nash. And Nash was just him playing himself, if you've ever seen interviews. So he's natural. He's naturally a good bad guy.
Yeah. I completely forgot. I actually went to the theater and saw Ernest Goes to Jail. I liked those movies when I was a kid. I am definitely I have some nostalgia for it, but they definitely don't hold up now with me and now as an adult.
Yeah. Hairless Primate says, like with Who and Trek, why is it always LGBTs injecting kink sexuality into these franchises that weren't in there in the first place? Goddamn irritating. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
that is true. We go to any sort of pride event and stuff like that. Not like you can see these things on TV and images on the internet stuff. It's a shit show of degenerates, basically.
And this is they said this is the gayest Star Wars, and funny how they released this during Gay Pride Month.
Oh, that's true. Actually, I didn't clock that. Yeah. What
coincidence? Probably not.
think.
They probably
I
planned
think
on
not.
we want this released Gay Pride Month in June.
Maximum gay overload, it
Yeah.
seems. Patrick Muson for $5 Australian says, "Close your eyes; they can deceive you. Now, what do you see? I see someone killing Jedi. Who is killing them? Sir Robert of Disney, newly knighted."
Yeah, I saw that you guys gave him knighthood because of all his wonderful things that he's done for the world.
Well, it doesn't mean anything.
Oh yeah,
Knighthood means
nothing.
nothing. So yeah, what? Fucking whatever. Unbelievable. Zombie Box Review super chatted and says, "Many sparrows died to bring us this information." Oh god, honestly,
KK Anon.
this show, dreadful stuff. All right, well,